Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine show presented by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter of Navy athletics. And with Navy women's volleyball punching its ticket to the Patriot League quarterfinals, I'm here with head coach Paco Labrador. Paco, thank you so much for your time.
No, thanks for covering us.
Paco, I want to go back to earlier this season. I asked Ava Toppin a question. I said, Ava, you're picked seventh in the preseason poll. What do you ladies make of that? And she said, it's fuel to the fire, and we just need to take care of our business. And lo and behold, your program is fifth despite all the injuries, and you get a chance to move on to the semifinals in Lewisburg. Just how special is this group this year?
No, it's a great testimony to the hard work and effort that we put in the off season, and I think more importantly, it's a testimony to the leadership of the senior class. I think it's neat that you were able to ask Ava that question because the reality is you don't move from up in the rankings from seventh to fifth or to even get into the postseason unless you've got seniors that are setting a standard and setting a tone every day for what it takes to get there.
What is one quality that this group has really embodied that's allowed them to punch their ticket to the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been some versatility on the team. So, of course, we weren't anticipating this many injuries. And so when that happens, you have to maybe play a position that's new or learn a skill that's a little different or play a role that is maybe unique for just one match. We just need you to fill in here and there. And so we've been able to do that all season long and kind of on short notice, be able to turn around a game plan that includes maybe a new setter or maybe a new hitter in a different spot and still be able to perform at a high enough level to get some wins.
Both from your success at Wittenberg and then, you won a Patriot League title back here in Navy in your first season. What did you draw upon, despite all of these injuries and obstacles, to allow this group to persevere and to ultimately make it to the playoffs?
Yeah, one of the things that is important, I think, to be successful late in November is you have to keep training and teaching and sort of making sure that the team is going hard in practice and developing. It's not a time to get on cruise control. It's not a time to just, hey, this is what got us here. Let's just go with what we know. There's still skills that can be developed late in the year. There's still nuances that can be improved on late in the year. So you just got to keep teaching. You just got to keep adding to your team so that you're prepared for all the things that could come at you late in the season.
How key has your captain, Ava Toppin, been? Because she just seems to be one of the more versatile players in the entire conference with the way that she can get it done on the defensive end, but she can also fill up 15, 16 kills at a time.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things that she's doing really well right now. I mean, obviously, to be a leader and to be a mentor to the younger players on the team and to be a mentor to specifically the people in the middle hitter position. We've had some pretty young, some pretty new players playing in that position since the loss of Julia Humphrey. So she's been spectacular in bringing them along and making sure that her young freshman teammates are playing well. And the second thing she's doing is even though she's going outside of herself to make sure her teammates are prepared and to make sure her teammates are going to perform well on that day, she's still able to put her own work and her own time in to preparing herself so that she can churn out, statistically really great performances night in and night out. A lot of times those are mutually exclusive. Sometimes if you're putting a lot of effort into others, sometimes your own performance can be impacted. But with her, it is she's doing it on both sides.
And I think one of the X factors for this group this year has been this freshman class and the way that those ladies have stepped up in their first year here on the yard. Caroline and Ellen especially, they've put up career highs, well, 16 kills in a couple matches. How have you seen them really develop?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's special because they came in and we weren't really sure what roles we were going to have with them because you just never know how a freshman's going to um, impact the lineup. And both of them, really did a great job during preseason, and of course they were pressed into service maybe a little sooner than we would expect. But when their numbers were called early in the year, they did really, really well. Both of them are very athletic and physical, and so the two of them certainly are big factors in the success that we've had this season.
How do you keep it going? How do you cap a sweep of the Bison this season and do it at their place?
Yeah, I mean, I think bottom line is that it's a matter of now it's you just have one opponent to focus on. You're not really worried too much about like what's coming down the road. You're just very, very present in what are we doing right now today in this particular drill with this even down to the what are we doing with these ball contacts just to make sure that we're the most prepared we can be to compete against a team that is, Bucknell's probably one of the hottest teams in the league right now with some recent wins. So we know that the Bucknell team that we played a month ago isn't the same Bucknell team that we're going to play tomorrow, and that's great because we want to see, what the best level competition we can see is.
What makes this current iteration of Bucknell so difficult to stop?
Yeah, right now they're playing with a lot of confidence, right? They've beat Colgate and they beat Army, which are two teams that are, higher ranked than them. And they got one of their top hitters back from injury, so she was gone early in the season, and now she's back. And anytime that you can have some success without your top scorer, and then you add that scorer back into a team that's had some success, it does build confidence. So they're playing very, very confident volleyball right now, and that's critical for them. And while at the same time, we have some things that we're doing on our end that we think we're pretty confident in as well.
Well, Paco, we hope that you propel these ladies forward into the semifinals. Well, Wednesday is now promised, so I need to know what will you remember most about this 2025 group?
Yeah, I mean, I think the entirety of the season has been pretty turbulent, and yet they were able to sort of weather a lot of, week to week storms. And so there are things that came up that we had to overcome and still play on the weekend. And that happened more times this season than I can remember. And yet we were still able to stay the course and be really, really present to play, even though there were a lot of changes and a lot of things that were in flux on a week by week basis. They still showed up and they still played real hard on every single practice and every single match, regardless of what the week ahead held for them.
Paco, Navy beats the Bison and it punches its ticket to the Patriot League Final Four. If the midshipmen do what?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now it's just a matter of doing what we know we can do really, really well. So we've got some really nice offensive threats, and so if we're able to spread our offense and make sure that all of our team is getting the good look at the ball and we're not too unidimensional, then I think we have a good chance. And bottom line is, I think we have to stay poised and know that the work that we've put in is enough to be successful tonight.
I love it. Paco, good luck in Lewisburg and thank you so much for your time.
All right, it's good talking to you, Tim. Thanks.
You have been listening to the Navy Sports Magazine Show, presented by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter of Navy athletics.